not like spring or late summer severe weather where something terrible, a tornado or a hurricane rolls through and instantly the power is out. This is something, Laney, that takes a little time. It has to be weighed down and then slowly get less and less structurally sound, and then that's when it hits the power line. So you were, I don't want to put words in your mouth here, you were saying it could be Tuesday, Wednesday before we know officially the full extent of the power outage situation, right?
Yeah, and Dave's going to come up here in just a minute and talk a little bit more about the winds that are going to come in behind this weather system. So it's really not all that windy out there right now, but visibility is reduced either from fog if you're on the front end of this batch of precipitation, or the precipitation is coming down so heavily, visibility reduced. So round 2 of the frozen precipitation moving through right now. We're talking about additional sleet in the areas that have mainly seen sleet and additional freezing rain in the areas that have mainly seen freezing rain, as this cold air mass is really hard to give way. That precipitation will be lightning and ending before midnight. So we are talking about short term, but impacts, because if you do get freezing rain on top of that, whatever we have out there, whether it's where you are, that crunchy kind of snow and sleet that fell all night, or where we've already had some glaze. If we get more glaze on top of glaze, that could send us up closer to a more critical point, which would be closer to 1/2 of an inch on trees and power lines. And yes, anything that falls out there is likely going to make travel conditions worse than they currently are, because the sleet is coming down so quickly that it is just going to start to pile up. And we've got the cold air coming in behind this, which Dave's going to talk about here in just a minute. You can see we're just seeing about the middle part of this moving into the triad. So we still think we've got a couple more hours or so. We're sitting here about 5:30. I would think by 8 or 9, most of this is through here. It's not moving rapidly, but it is moving fairly quickly. A lot of these areas have measurable snow and sleet, or sneet as I've been trying to call it, because it's kind of in between. A lot of these areas have at least an inch or more. That lighter blue is closer to an inch. The darker blue is closer to 2 inches of precipitation on the ground. Here's a close view of the radar. And we're seeing a lot of color here because we're seeing kind of a mixed bag across the area. I do think it's predominantly sleet north of I-85 and predominantly freezing rain to the south. You've been sending in your reports, and that's really helpful for us because the math is not helping trying to figure out what this is and sort of put it out in the different colors on the screen. So yeah, continue to let Michelle and Dave and I know what you're seeing out there. Right now you can see from Galax down toward Dobson and Mount Airy, we still have that wintry mix coming down. Also a heavy batch right now over Wilkesboro up toward Trap Hill and Elkin. We've got another heavy batch from Danbury to Madison, Mayodan, and Wentworth. And then we've got some lighter amounts starting to kind of pick up and become more widespread over Greensboro and Burlington and Thomasville. So if you're in those areas, High Point, down toward Asheboro, the heaviest has not quite gotten into your area. And you're seeing too steady across Forsyth County, all along I-40, and then out to Greensboro, a little more specifically from McLeansville to Gibsonville to Burlington, and then down to the south. We're also seeing a burst here that could be overcoming the freezing rain, and this potentially could be some sleet. I'd really like to know, if you're in Davie and Davidson County, what you are seeing coming down right now. So send us a message. Let us know. We're checking our phones. We're checking our computers when we're not on TV. That second burst of icy mix, I've done my best to try to time this out. I think now until about 7 o'clock, that sleet and freezing rain will start to come to an end in the mountains, okay? Closer to 7 probably. 8, 9 o'clock I think is probably approximate end to the sleet and freezing rain in the triad, okay? So I do think this happens well before midnight, and it should happen over the next few hours that we're going to see most of this that's coming down right now coming through our area. We're most concerned, of course, about additional icing or glazing. I like to, when we start talking about ice and glaze, I think people get confused. We don't want additional glazing. That comes from freezing rain. That's what's on the trees and the power lines. We'd like to have no more additional precipitation, but I think having it in that or a solid form, right? That sleet pellets that are coming down and kind of piling up, that's probably ideal for us right now. We've been talking about this all week. Everybody kept their fingers crossed, right? We wanted sleet, and we're doing a pretty good job so far. If we can just get through these next several hours, I think we'll all breathe kind of a sigh of relief, and we'll deal with what's out there. We're going to check in with Dave right now for those impacts and what is going to be left behind this storm system.
Yeah, Laney, I'm with you. Let's get this stuff through here. So we're working on that. We're watching the radar all the time. You can see the back edge of that precipitation getting ready to move into the mountains as we speak. But tonight and this week, power outages currently because of some heavier icing that may occur over the course of the next few hours that we may see across the region, and some of that glazing too that Laney was really talking about, getting on the power lines and the tree limbs. So hopefully we won't have any power outage issues. I know we've seen some, but it's not as plentiful as it could have been. Dangerous travel, we've already had that for the past 12 hours or so, 18 hours. An extended bitter cold coming up this week too. If you didn't take care of your pipes before this system moved through, you might want to do it as we get on into Tuesday, Monday night, very early Tuesday morning, when we could see temperatures into the single digits at that time. So something you'll want to take into consideration over the next 24 hours. Look at these forecast wind gusts for tomorrow. We're looking at 20 to 25 mile per hour wind gusts, and you say, oh, well, that's not horrible. But when you factor in the temperatures that will be out there, it will feel like it's in the single digits and teens tomorrow and tomorrow evening too. And look at these forecast wind chills tomorrow evening up in the mountain counties. It'll feel like it's minus 15, minus 10 in some of those areas. Brutally cold up there as we get into tomorrow evening. In fact, I'll talk more about the mountain temperatures here in just a little bit. Laney showed you this, where all of the different types of precipitation that are falling out there. We encourage you to send us a message on the Facebook. We'd love to talk to you there. 27 Wilkesboro now, 24 in Pilot Mountain, but you get back out to the mountains where temperatures are around 40. That's why they're seeing rain out around Boone and Blowing Rock and places well out to the west in Ashe County. Temperatures right now, we're still in the low 20s. They've come up some out of the teens in some areas this afternoon. Still have some fog out there at the moment you'll have to deal with. Be careful. Hopefully you're not driving around anyway, but if you have to, just be really slow. That fog, and when that precipitation comes out at a high rate, it could cause some issues. Forecast lows tonight and tomorrow morning, not bad. Then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, in the teens and even single digits is where we might start on Tuesday morning. So keep that in mind with the cold air that's in place. This is the extreme cold watch. Rare to see, but they do occur. Grayson, Allegheny, Ashe, Watauga counties. And this is for Monday evening through Tuesday morning, where again, they could see feels like temperatures, wind chills between minus 15 to minus 20 degrees, dangerously cold air in the mountains in that time frame. So get ready for a week of very cold air, temperatures well below normal, and we probably won't get out of the 30s this week, maybe not even in the mid 30s, and overnight lows are going to be cold each night too.